Hello, love. Guess what we're talking about today? This is Rev Dr. Ronda Del Boccio. I have singing bowls. So today we're going to discover the types of inviters, stick thingies that you can use, some different ways that you can play your bowl, and how to get the best sound from your bowl. And before I tell you any of that, I'm going to show you how to make the best connection with your bowl, because one of the big mistakes people make is they get a bowl and they just start trying to play it without a little bit of prep. So I'll show you all of that. So let's go. Okay, so first of all, what's often called a Tibetan singing bowl is actually more properly called the Himalayan singing bowl, because it's from that region, not specifically only Tibet. Many of the bowls are made in Nepal, in other places, etc., etc. So, and there is a lot of lore, such as that being made of certain precious metals and all of that. And there's some level of truth, and there's some level of not really quite literally accurate. So don't worry so much about the lore at the moment. And Twitch is going to come and say hello and probably knock things over. So, that's how that goes. Okay, so, hey Twitch. Let me get the proctology out of the way. There we go. Okay. I'm going to move this down here for part of onto a different little platform, so you won't always see my face, but you'll see the bowls really well. So I'm going to start, whoops, seeing in a minute. So what I'm going to start with is what you might want to do when you first bring a bowl into your home, or when you might meet one at a shop. So these are sacred and wonderful instruments, and they have a sort of a spirit to them. Okay, when you meet ones in a shop or wherever you might see them, even a garage sale, or when you bring one into your home, as I've ordered some that I've not met in person, but I've ordered, right? And so when that happens, when you bring them into your home, excuse me, Twitchy, thank you. It's really lovely when you first meet them to sort of just say hello for a moment, introduce yourself in a way. I don't mean like, hi, my name's Rhonda. I don't mean like that exactly, but give it a moment for your energies to meet and to show the bowl some respect and care. And you may not think this makes any difference. I'll tell you the short version of a story. And Twitch, I do love you, and please move on. There we go. So this bowl right here was in a shop along with about 9 other bowls. And I happened to go as like a new age type of shop. There were incense and all different things in there. And there were a few bowls, and they were on this shelf. And I went, oh, this is interesting. I had heard of them. I wasn't that familiar. This was several decades ago. And she said, I don't know if you're going to get a sound out of any of the bowls. They don't seem to want to play. Nobody can play them. And I went, okay, well, I've never played one, but let's see, So when I went over to the bowls and I tuned in, well, I'm very intuitive and empathic, and there was that sense of that they'd been mishandled, mistreated, and that they weren't happy about it. And so I indicated to them, well, I can't fix that. I didn't do it. I can't fix that. But welcome the shop here. There are good people. Whatever might have happened in the shipping and the history, etc., we cannot fix that. And then I asked this bowl, this right here bowl, excuse me, I knocked my own inviter over. There we go. It's usually Twitch's job. So I asked if this one would let me play. And at first I got I was still feeling very ripply energy, not so much. And then I played. And he decided he was willing to sing, which was lovely. Yes, Twitch loves the bulls. Okay, so coming to them with respect. And it's not about like a religion or a particular deity, or it's nothing like that. It's just simply coming with a recognition that these have been on their journey before you ever got to them, and hopefully it was one of loving kindness and respect. May or may not have been, but it's just considering these have been used for sacred purposes. It's just good to honor the sacredness of the bull. So that might have been more than you really wanted to know, and you may or may not believe it. That's up to you, but it's my truth and I stand by it. So coming with respect is very good. So this is a bowl. When you hold it, if you ever try to get a sound out of the bowl and you like wrap your hand underneath of it, or with your fingers coming up the sides, here's what will happen. That doesn't mean the bowl doesn't want to sing for you. In that case, it means there's the resonance of the bowl in your hand, or something else is interfering with it. So with a smaller bowl, this meaning smaller like this, not meaning I have ones that weigh 3 or 4 or 5 pounds. You can either make like an O-ring of your hand and lay it on top, or you can use a flat palm, but just make sure that you're not grasping or cupping. And then when you're tapping, it's not wallop it into the next millennium, but it is, come on, Twitch, just a little cooperate with me. It is a tap. You're not trying to beat it really hard, okay? So that's one way to play it, is a tap. And of course, if you tap it harder, you'll get a louder sound. You don't want to tap it so hard that you like rock it right off of your hand. I find I like to do the O because it's just a little easier. I find it's a bit uncomfortable for me to, especially if I'm holding it up to a camera, like I am here. But sometimes it's harder to hold your hand like that. So you decide what's comfortable in your body, and that's what's right for you. Just the only thing is not to cover too much of the surface. Okay, and you'll find there's several types of inviters. The most common is a wooden one like this with no covering of any kind over it. Set you down here. And the other one would have some kind of a wrap that could be suede or felt around a part of it, like this one. I will take the same bowl. I have more than one here, but we'll demo with him since you've been hearing him. Here's what his sound is like with the wooden. I want you to listen for the difference. Did you know? Yes, the tone, of course, was the same. It's not going to vibrate differently that way, but it's a difference of the type of sound. So this, with the wood, if you think about it, a hard surface and a hard surface are going to make a harder sound. And a hard surface with the softer surface, because of the wrap, will have a softer sound. Okay. Another way to play a bowl is to go around the rim. Now, some people try going inside the rim, and I'm not saying you can't get a sound. You can, a sound, but it's probably not what you're looking for. You want to go around the exterior on the outer rim. And what will happen is, as you have your bowl, you'll learn your bowl. And as you build that sense of honoring, that sense of relationship with your bowl, you'll find that it sings very well. Okay. If I'm trying to stop a sound rather than just sort of grab it, I usually just like to gently bring it to a pause. Otherwise, it's like this. So I like it to sort of have that fade out like you'll hear at the end of songs or whatever sometimes. So when you go around the rim, what you're looking for is, I'm not pressing really hard. If I press really hard, I'm getting a sound, but it's harder on your hands and your energy, and it doesn't come out as much. See, now I'm lightening up. I didn't even take it away. Just by lightening up. And one of the overtones is singing really strongly today. That very high sound. That lower tone is what's called the fundamental, but that's not what's important. But because it's metal, they each have their own character, and they have sort of their own built-in chord or many different notes that will come out. So you will have heard while I'm playing that you're noticing that fundamental and then higher notes. Okay? So I'm going to talk a little about the ring. A lot of these come on a ring. Now for this, I'm going to make a camera adjustment. Excuse me. Okay, so I have sitting right here on a ring. This is often, they come for display. I'm going to use this particular with the softer mallet, inviter. It kind of plays if I tap it, but it sounds a little weird. And if I try to rim it or sing it around the rim, it doesn't really want to play very well. However, I'm using my little kind of circle technique. Go around the rim, and you'll see that there's such a more lovely tone. So those circles are great to keep them stable on your whatever, wherever you have them, your table or something. What I will often use, and this is thanks to Sonic Yogi, one of my teachers of the bowls and other sound healing. This is a little silicone, I forget exactly what they called them. It's like a little silicone scrubby type of thing. And this helps the bowl hold still, because if I have a bowl just here on my table, this one does a little better, but some of them tend to, rock and roll quite a bit. But if I put that little thing down and the bowl on top of it, now it's not sliding around. If your surface is a little slick, it has something to hold it to. I still often, if I'm playing several bowls for a long sound bath, I leave certain ones on the table. Like this one I can leave on the table. And just because it's larger, and it will sound all right doing it that way. And this one I showed you, played first, can be sitting down. He likes to have a little one of these things under two, but I still will often, if it's just one bowl and I'm meditating or something, I like to hold it in my hand. And again, you'll find the way that works. I'll show you a flat hand again. And here's the difference with the padded inviter. And here's with the wooden. You'll notice there's a sharpness to the wooden, and it's a preference, and sometimes it's just what came with your bowl. This wooden one came with this bowl, and for decades that's what I had. Period. End of story. I didn't have any others. Now that I have other bowls, they all come with something, and you end up with some more choices that way. And then also, this fellow sometimes doesn't want to be played with certain other inviters. This can be called a mallet or an inviter. A mallet sounds like either polo or something you're beating with. So I like inviter, but that's your choice. Okay. So when you're doing the tap, it's not super heavy. You're not trying to knock it into next year. When you're coming around the rim, you want a firm pressure. What happens if you don't use like a firm but light pressure? Is you can't get a consistent sound. Also, you're not trying to stir it from the center like this, so I'm showing you bad technique on purpose. And you'll see a lot of people's problems are you're just kind of all over the place. But when you come to the bowl, and you can either start with a little tap or just start only by going around the edge. And I'll do it just without tapping first. And it will take the sound a minute to build up if you don't tap it first. But it'll get there. But if I give it a little tap first, see, the sound will come up more quickly. So it doesn't have to be a loud, big tap. Even just a light tap, and then going around, it'll just bring the sound more quickly. Okay. So if you're using some bowls together, hopefully what you want is that they sound somewhat harmonious together. And I sometimes the sets, because I had someone give me a set that I'm sure was bought on Amazon, and this is one of them from that set. But if I try to play all 7 of the bowls together, it's like, my nervous system can't take it. So just because they come in a set doesn't necessarily mean they harmonize. And also with the metal bowls, as you've seen and heard, they all have more than one note in them. They're not tuned in the way that a crystal bowl is. You can say, I want a C, I want a D, I want a G, whatever, in the crystal bowl. You can get a tone. This is an E, but it's discovered after the fact. It's not like I'm creating this bowl and it will be an E. It's like I created this bowl, let me test the vibration, and the fundamental happens to be whatever it is. But sometimes the sets are really jangly together, and that you don't necessarily want to play all of them in proximity. Okay? It happens that this bowl and this bowl are very close to the same note, and they naturally will pick up a binaural beat because they're the tones are just a few cents off from each other, So that's kind of cool. This was from an Amazon set. This is my first. All right. So that gives you some ideas. When you are wanting to use them for your own practice, they're beautiful for meditation. On my YouTube channel, Energy Glow Up with Rev Ronda del Boccio, I have a playlist that has meditations and sound baths by me. And I have several. Some are very short, as in a minute or less, and some are 3 minutes or 7 minutes, and some are longer. Sometimes you just have a few minutes. But one of the best ways I love to use bowls is with the power of intention. For example, one of my meditations is about putting any worries or stress into the bowl. Like, just imagine you've written it on paper, you're just putting your worries into the bowl while breathing. And then I play that bowl along with the sound bath. Okay, so that's one example. Also, you could decide to take what you're manifesting and put it into the bowl. You can try putting it on small slips of paper and folding it up. If it's light paper, it'll probably just jangle around in there, but it probably won't affect the sound if it's light paper. But you'll just have to experiment with whichever bowl you may have. And you'll find also the better quality bowls will have a really nice long sing. Like, I tapped that one about a minute ago. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, but he's still singing here. Okay? So it's beautiful to use in meditation. It's beautiful to use in manifestation work. You can put emotions. You can use it with the moon cycles. I'm just giving you some ideas. It's based on what rituals you have. When I have, and people will say, will you please pray for this one or send energy for that purpose or whatever. There are times I will sit down and I will first read through or go through in my mind all the various intentions that have been brought to me in the day. And then I will play one or several bowls and send that healing, that prayer, that love, and that light out to people. All right. So I think that gives you a pretty nice overview. You can use it with your meditations, with your breath work, with your prayer if you pray, with your manifestation, with your intentions, with just sending good vibes, sending love and peace into the world. So I hope this has been helpful. Of course, there's a siren happening near me, so what I'm doing right now is I'm going to send healing and help to the people helping and those who need help. So we see we can even work in the disruptions while that first responder goes by. You may play the bowls with humming, with chanting, with singing, whatever you may have. I love to play the bowls when I'm singing the mantras. Aham prema, aham prema, aham prema, aham prema. Aham prema in Sanskrit, I am divine love, and truly that is my mission here on the planet as I'm living in this human suit. So I hope you've enjoyed this sound bowl tutorial. If you like it, follow me. Ask me questions. Wherever you're seeing this, ask me questions. I'll answer you. And as always, I see you, I believe in you, and I love you. Namaste, love.